Guys, welcome to the film room for the 23-24 basketball season. We're going to kick it off by looking at the biggest upset that's taken place so far, where James Madison knocked off number 4 Michigan State in overtime by 3 points. Now, the headline of this game was the fact that Michigan State only hit 1 3 out of 20 and shot 62% from the free throw line, but I'm going to break down the final few minutes of this game and show you how Michigan State still had a chance to win and made some really bad decisions. So with about 3.5 minutes to play, James Madison comes down, there's a broken play, and the transfer Michael Green comes off of this step-up ball screen that's guarded pretty well and hits this incredible load-the-gun 3 to put it within 1. Now, the thing that's concerning is that there's only 2.5 minutes left in the game. Michigan State is up by 1, and they have 4 returners on the court with 1 freshman, and one of those returners happens to be Tyson Walker, who's one of the best point guards in the country. So you would think with all this experience and Tom Izzo as the head coach, they would find a way to pull this game out, even though they didn't shoot it well. So here with 2.5 minutes left, Tyson Walker comes off this side ball screen. He recognizes this contain or drop coverage. He gets downhill and hits a tough layup over the extended arm to put him up by 3. And this is where things went south. Now they're up by 2 after James Madison hit a free throw, and they get into something called chin, where Walker tries to do what's called a Ricky action, where he goes off of a back screen and then he comes back off of a down screen to get open. There was confusion on the down screen, so the play ends up getting broken, and Atkins comes off, tries to make a play by driving, and turns the basketball over. This was the first crucial mistake. You can't turn the ball over late in games. You got to get a shot up. So what happens is James Madison comes down, and they go to run this concept that's referred to as exit. And the way this works is you're going to set a middle ball screen, and then you're going to have a shooter go to the corner off of this exit screen. The guard comes off. He's hopefully going to draw 2 people, and the read you have to make is based off of this defender right here. But the ball screen coverage gets screwed up. They both go with the roller, and they leave Green open for another open 3, but the worst part is that they don't get the defensive rebound, and the ball goes back to James Madison. So once the ball gets inbounded, they try and run this side ball screen, and the guard has the savviness to throw it straight to the corner to their shooter who had been out with foul trouble, and Hogarth fouls the shooter. He thinks that he didn't do anything, but we're going to go back and look. He absolutely fouled this shooter. He didn't give him room to land, and he hit his hand. So that allows Friedel to go to the free throw line for 3 free throws. He ends up missing the first one, then he knocks down the next 2, so now we're sitting here with a 2-point game with 1 minute left. So Michigan State wisely comes down, they burn some time off the clock, and then they're going to run a middle ball screen. And the reason why they do this is because your point guard is essentially like your quarterback. You want the ball in his hands late in the game to come off either direction of this ball screen and make a play. And Tyson does just that. He comes off, doesn't have anything, they go to rescreen, he splits it in between, and he does what's called making 2 people guard 1. If you haven't seen my video on this, make sure you click the link. You'll want to know what this is about. And he delivers a perfect pass to the corner for a wide open 3, and just like their night was going, Hogarth ends up missing it. So now James Madison is in transition, and Michigan State needs to match up. In defensive transition, you don't have your own man, so you have to communicate and match up. You will notice that the 2 bigs get confused on who they're supposed to be guarding. They both run to the ball, and that allows this big to get open and hit a mid-range jump shot, and now we have a tie ball game with 1 possession left. So Michigan State draws up this final play to try and get a bucket. They're going to set this fake or bluff ball screen to get Tyson Walker over to the side, and then they're going to do what's called ghosting a screen, which means that Malik Hall is going to set a brush screen right past this defender to allow Tyson to get downhill to what's referred to as the kill zone so that he can make a play. James Madison does a great job of not getting caught up on that screen, and now Walker has to make a one-on-one play. The thing that I don't understand is why these 2 guards from Michigan State lifted, because by doing that and not staying in the dead corners, they allowed these 2 defenders to get in the gap, be in help, and they ended up making this shot so difficult for Walker at the end of regulation. In overtime, Michigan State continued to struggle. James Madison hit a couple of really big shots, and Michigan State didn't even get a final shot off at the buzzer because they turned the ball over. So my main takeaways from this game is Michigan State obviously shot it extremely poorly, which won't happen very often, but they had a chance to win the game, and they made some costly mistakes down the stretch. And if there's one thing you can learn from this game, it's that the disciplined things win you games late. Not having turnovers, not having bad fouls, making sure you get back in defensive transition. Hats off to James Madison. What an upset. Thanks for coming through. We'll see you next time in the film room.